Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast Television. Now, we have a couple of things happening right now out on our major highways and expressways. One thing that Jordan's on his way to now that we can't see here, but eastbound 401 approaching Highway 25, we have a left lane blocked off, and it's all because of a collision. So we are looking at delays right now on the eastbound 401 from just east of Guelph line heading towards where we do have that left lane blocked. So that is something to note as you head out of that area. Outside of that, just taking a quick peek at the Toronto-bound QEW heading out of Hamilton this hour. You can see that the camera here is a little bit rainy or rained on, I should say, but roads seem to be just fine, and traffic is relatively moving at the limit. Eastbound QEW heading towards Oakville is moving fine, but you can see it's a little bit busy through Third Line. Definitely slow on the eastbound Gardner from Park Lawn to east of the Humber Bridge, and that is all just due to volume. And taking a look over at the westbound 401, actually just outside of our view, west of the 407, we have a left lane blocked off because of a construction sign. It was left there. So MTO has been notified. They're on their way to pick that up. It's not adding to any delays. That's a look at your drive. Now sending things over to Frankie for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to start off with that radar. You were mentioning about some of the shower activity that we're seeing this morning. Just in the form of some scattered showers, patchy drizzle is what you're going to see. The bulk of the moisture today stays down south of us. You could see some rain heavy at times through the Niagara region, but the real rain pushes its way towards Toronto as we get our way through tonight. So let's take a look. There's a look at midnight tonight. That's when it starts to roll its way through. Tomorrow morning, there's a look Saturday morning, 3:30 in the morning. You can see some of the oranges and the yellows. That's heavier rain that pushes its way through at that time. And then tomorrow afternoon, that's a look at about 1:30. As temperatures begin to fall, we start to see that rain change over to the possibility of some mixed precipitation and or some freezing rain. And we could see lengthy periods of freezing rain as we're going to stay within this all the way from about 2 to 10 o'clock, even 11, all the way through into the early morning hours. So we got to pay attention tomorrow afternoon to conditions. And there's a good possibility tomorrow with ice accretions. We could see some power outages in many areas across the province of Ontario. Right now, 4 degrees down at the island, 4 Stouffville, 6 Pearson, 6 in through Brampton as well, Oakville into Burlington. Good morning to all. Daytime highs today going to be 8. Tomorrow we'll top out at 11 in the morning. Temperatures fall to around the freezing mark into the afternoon. And then on Sunday, we're going to wake up to some snow and top out at 2 degrees. Let's look at the active weather that we're going to see over the next 3 days.
Well, how much might your property tax be going up? Perhaps we'll get a better idea later today. Our Tammy Sutherland live outside City Hall this morning. This is ahead of the Budget Committee meeting. What do we know so far, Tam?
Well, we know that city staff will be presenting their recommendations for Toronto's capital as well as operating budget for 2020. That'll be just a draft, of course, that will be presented. And that'll focus on things including property taxes, like you mentioned, Melanie, as well as rates for garbage collection. On top of it, transit fares to fund the TTC, as well as funding infrastructure here in the city. And what we do know is that some councillors are looking at zoning right in on taxes when it comes to real estate and increasing those taxes. According to the Toronto Star, Councillor Anna Bailau, who's also the city's housing advocate, she is calling for a vacant homes tax, an increase in that, as well as an increase in the municipal land transfer tax for luxury homes. Those are homes that are more than $3 million here in the city. That's to, of course, fund housing programs here in Toronto. And that comes after last month, just late last year, when City Council overwhelmingly voted in favor of a property levy and an increase in that in order to fund the housing plan, the 10-year plan that the city has put forth for Toronto, as well as fund some TTC programs and projects. So we're looking at taxpayers, even with just that levy, paying a little less than $300 more a month when it comes to homeowners and how much that levy will cost them. And that's a year, rather, more than $300 a year based on that levy. And that's once it's fully implemented about 8 years from now. So we're going to see exactly what will happen when it comes to property taxes. Mayor John Tory saying that the actual base property tax increase would not go over the rate of inflation. So we'll have to see what the city presents later this morning. And that will have to be approved, of course, by full council sometime next month. Mel, I'll send it back to you for now.
Let's get to world news now. Officials in Australia are warning of a so-called mega blaze today as bushfire conditions are expected to flare up. Temperatures soaring to above 40 degrees again in parts of the southeast. That, combined with strong and erratic winds, expected to cause what's been feared for days, the merging of two fires at the border of New South Wales and Victoria. The devastating fires have now already scorched about 11 million hectares of land. At least 27 people have died, thousands of homes now gone. In many areas now, residents are coming to grips with what's left of their communities. Thousands of Hindus bathing in holy rivers of northern India today on the auspicious full moon day. The religious devotees praying to the sun and moon gods while performing religious rituals. According to popular beliefs, taking a holy dip relieves the devotees of their past sins, including those they may have committed during their past lives or previous births. China's New Year travel rush getting underway today. It is the country's largest seasonal migration as people travel to spend time with their families on China's most important traditional holiday, the Lunar New Year, which is also known as the Spring Festival. Transportation systems across the country will be going full throttle for the next month. Just one example, the main railway station in Beijing, where the passenger volume expected to hit 140,000 today, and almost 5.5 million people until the Spring Festival ends on February the 18th.